Recording back. I didn't know much about the laws, but with as many deaths as she'd been involved in, the chances of her escaping a heavier punishment seemed non-existent. Mion might not surrender herself to justice, so I might have to put an end to it myself. And I had already thought that far ahead. Yes, hello Slag, I am back. I'm terribly sorry about that pause. I had so much to talk to my mother about, so I care for her deeply, and I really needed to open to her about a lot of things, and needed to discuss with her about many things. So, sorry about that. It was really unfortunate timing for that phone call, but, you know, sometimes you just have to talk, so, yeah. But let us continue now. And I had already thought that far ahead. Happy founder confrontation with a side of canned meat with the soy sauce. You have a way with words, you know that? Fantastic. Lena rubbed her at her tears, which had fallen without me noticing them. I nodded and followed Mion, who had disappeared out the front door. I could clearly hear Rena sobbing from the other side of the paper door. Oh, thank you for the host, Slag. Thank you a lot with the host. Thank you a lot for the host. That's greatly appreciated. It boosts a lot the views by a lot, actually. Even if it is only a single view, it actually helps a lot. So, thank you a lot. I will actually I am gonna have to get a better GIF for that. That hosting, but yes, thank you. Thank you, Slag. Back to the sadness. Back to the happiness. There at the pictures. There at the pictures. Yes, there's nothing bad going on here. Nothing bad ever happens in this town. Something hot burned down my cheeks. They were my tears. I fiercely wiped them away. This was the last time I could offer to Mion. This was last of my time I could offer to Mion, so I absolutely didn't want to let her see my tears during it. Mion was already waiting outside the front door. Oh, for the love of Christ's bundle of sticks. Please don't tell me that there's this is the beginning of the last. Sorry about that. I put on my shoes, tapped my toes against the floor a few times, then left, and Mion timidly came over. Why is she turning all red at a time like this? Oh, it was such a modest request. With my permission, her face lit up with glee, like a child being given a toy, and took my arm. Back when nothing had gone wrong yet. During those nostalgic days of Boston commotion at Angel Mall, I counted back and was amazed. It had only been 1 week ago. I had been arm in arm with Shion then too. Linking arms with Mion like this really reminded me that they were twins. How much strength they put into it, the sensation of their arms, their warmth, and the blood flowing. I could feel that their living sensations were all exactly the same. Oh, you don't say! What a reaction. If this were a regular conversation, I might have jumped back, red in the face. Right now, though, no matter what I heard, my mind remained at peace.
ミオンとシオンは仲は良かったんだろ？
さあ、どうかな。ケイちゃんは自分の右手と左手は仲がいいと思う？
An interesting comparison.
右手と左手？それは仲がいいとか悪いとか、そういう言い方で例えるものじゃないな。
そういう関係だから。
Rather interesting.
仲がいいとか悪いとか、そういう尺度では測れない関係。
That didn't sound like it meant they got along really well.
例えば利き腕というものがあるように、右手と左手には間違いなく優劣の違いがある。
Not if you're ambidextrous, that isn't.
もしも鍋つかみが片方しかなかったら、迷うことなく利き腕にするでしょ。そういう差はあったんじゃないかと思う。だからといって左手がなくなったっていいなんて思う人は誰もいないはず。そんなよくわからない関係だね。
多分それは近くにいすぎるから見えなくなっているだけで、きっととても仲のいいことなんだと思う。
Yes, a rather interesting example indeed.
俺は一人っ子だから、祭りの前日ミオンとシオンが二人してじゃれ合っているのをすごく羨ましいと思った。
ないものねだりじゃないの。双子なんて昔は人をからかったりしてそこそこに面白かったけど、こうして互いがはっきりと異なる個性を持った今ではかえって邪魔なだけ。
Were they cursed, or were they self-conscious? Their relationship was hard to understand for an outsider. Maybe that wasn't an issue someone like me should intrude on. Just staying silent and nodding gently was the best way to advance the conversation. Mion passed through the wide yard and invited me into the big desolate forest we'd seen on the way in. Such a big forest was a part of the property, so I couldn't help but feel small.
でかい森だな。子供の頃はいい遊び場だったんじゃないのか？
Mion seemed to Mion seemed to be silently reminiscing. I couldn't look into her mind, but she was probably thinking back to those fun days when they played as sisters without any antagonism. Every time the wind blew, it caressed the treetops and leaves, making a swishing, murmuring sound. Mion remained silent for a long time, thinking back on her younger sister, whom she had gotten rid of with her own hands. There was no need for me to get a word in. Just walking like this, arm in arm, was enough. Mion suddenly stopped and turned.
シオンはまだ生きてる。
本当か？
Mion took a hard look into my eyes and then nodded quietly.
誰よりもむごたらしい死に方をさせてやろうとずっと考えて閉じ込めておいたけど、今日までその方法はとうとう思いつかなかった。
Mion sounded as though she hated Shion, but also deep down she didn't completely detest her. So I took my other hand and rustled Mion's hair with it. Mion didn't only save me, he saved Shion too. Yes, we need to save Shion, definitely, but I also kind of remembered that Shion was alive. Mion may have become a demon and led many people to their deaths, but she fought against it and was able to save 2 people. As I petted Mion, she narrowed her eyes in an entranced smile and untangled her arm from mine. Then Mion quietly said,
来て。 私の罪のすべてを見てほしいから。でもそれはケイちゃんにとってこの上なく辛い光景かもしれない。
I could sense it. That I would probably find all the sacrifices up until now. Looking at them would mean accepting Rika-chan's and Satoko's deaths, as well as accepting that my best friend had done it.
すでに起こり終わってしまった事実だけれども、ケイちゃんは見ないことを選んでもいい。そうならばここで待っていて。私の手で全て終わらせるから。
I was taken aback by how ominous that sounded. That does sound rather ominous indeed. I remembered what Rena had told me. Mion might not surrender herself to justice, but instead choose to put an end to things herself. I couldn't leave her on her own. Sorry for a sec. Yeah. Even if it was hard for me to accept, I'll still do it. I couldn't leave her on. Besides, I agreed to her last request, didn't I? Even if I avoided looking, it was something that had already happened.
何を見たって。
うん。
俺にとっての園崎美音は最高の親友だ。それは変わらない。一生。
The treetops softly swayed in the wind.
あんたもレナもどうしてこんな時ばかりかっこよくなるんだろうね。
Normally I'd say something rude right back at her, evading the question, but today I didn't. I just answered with a smile. At last, Mian started walking into the thick forest and into the deepest path. After following a thin path that looked like an animal trail for a while, we finally came across the steep incline with a tunnel that reminded me of a coal mine or a bomb shelter. We were surrounded by shallow hills. It had been created in a spot not visible from the outside. There were many silhouettes of crows in trees here and there. The abnormal odor it I'd been smelling for a while was doubtlessly escaping from inside this place.
引き返すなら今だよ。ケイちゃんの中の園崎美音がどんな人かは知らないけれど、中に入ればその美音はきっと。
How ominous.
変わらない。何度だって言う。園崎美音は俺の最高の親友だ。
It came to be fun. Yeah, about that. I clenched my fists. Inside there was probably a sight beyond anything I could imagine. If I let my guard down, I might end up vomiting. Even so, I'll endure it. I'll overcome this pain and suffering. It will never change that Shion is my greatest friend.
私はただの鬼だから、もう人間の気持ちはわからないけれど。
I am nothing more than a demon.
ミオンがあんたを好きになったの、よくわかる気がする。
他人事のように言うな。お前はミオンだ。鬼じゃない。血の通った人間で、俺の仲間なんだ。
Mion made a gesture like she was wiping tears from her eyes, then placed a hand on the big door at the tunnel entrance. The lock on it was dauntingly strong looking. It seemed to demand an appropriate resolution from whoever would enter, just like the ritual storehouse. When the double doors opened, a stifling rotten air and a bunch of winged insects came rushing out. I remembered accidentally killing a hermit crab long a time ago by leaving its tank out on the porch, and how intense the odor it had left was. If that was the smell of a corpse, then that's certainly what this smelled like. Inside it was pitch black, but Mion flicked a switch that turned on a light bulb, illuminating the interior. Path turned into a series of intricate wooden tunnels. We passed spaces that looked like they was for storage. We passed places that looked like someone had lived there. All this indicated that it had been used as a bomb shelter and a stockpile during the war. It didn't give an impression of a dugout bomb shelter that had just been left there, though. There was a sense of dignity, as though this were a second Somosaki house constructed underground. Despite being in pitch darkness below the ground, the voices of the cicadas were entering through an air hole somewhere, giving it a very mysterious feel.
細具殿の中見たよね。あの拷問道具の山を。あれはすべて鬼ヶ淵村の厳しい戒律を守るために作られたものだった。戒律を破った者を見せしめにむごたらしく殺してみせる。そういう道具だった。
大昔の話だろ。
本来は見せしめの儀式。渡流しは御三家が取り仕切る儀式だったんだけど、君吉家と古出家の衰退、そして時代の変化によって行うことはとても難しくなった。
そりゃそうだな。この現代日本で犠牲者をのんびりと沢で殺せるなんて思えない。
だから園崎家は作ったの。現代でも綿流しの儀が行えるように秘密の場所を。
Jesus freaking Christ. Mian opened a large, strikingly different door, and inside was none other than a modern storehouse for ritual implements.
いろいろあるでしょ。一部のものは実際に西宮殿から運び込まれたものなんだよ。
All of the things that had been rusty and covered in dust, so they didn't seem real. But the things in here were different. Every one of them had been well maintained, kept in a state that they could be used right away. Blades gleamed and spikes were sharpened. Also, perhaps as a precaution for the splatter of blood, the walls and ceiling were covered in the kind of tiling you would see in bathroom. You would see in bathrooms, and there was even a drain set amidst the slight slope in the floor. There was also a coiled rubber hose along the wall attached to a faucet, perhaps for cleaning up the splattered blood. Fun basement, fun, happy, fun, happy. Happy, joy, happy, joy, happy, joy, happy, joy.
大昔の当主の書き物によるとね、血のしぶきってのは犠牲者に負担をかけない割にはインパクトがあるんだってさ。綿流しは見せしめの章だったから、私のご先祖様たちは様々な章を考案してたんだよ。
As she said that, Mian pointed deeper into the torture room. This is very different from the actual anime. Oh my god. Mian pointed deeper into the torture room to spot to a spot veiled in darkness. There was surprisingly a room floored with tatami mats, and in the corner was a pile of cushions.
鑑賞席なんだよ。
Jesus Christ, a seat for the audience!
綿流しは見せしめの章だから。客がいなきゃ意味がない。
I couldn't speak, and I couldn't think of anything to say anyway. Apologies once again, I'm messaging, as you can hear, I'm messaging with my friend, so... Don't you just hate it when you have to communicate with friends? Except that if Mion revealing all this to me made her heart feel any lighter, then I was prepared to listen for as long as I needed to.
みんなここで私が殺した。
Oh dear.
見てくれている観客はいなかったけど、私は綿流しを上手にやってみせた。
I did the Watanagashi very well. Yes.
いや、観客は一人だけいたかな。
え、観客？
私という鬼がミオンの執り行う綿流しをずっと見てたから。
Mion cackled in self-deprecation. It wasn't a nice sounding laugh.
向こうが牢屋。
シオンはそこにいるのか？
She nodded slightly. Mion's Watanagashi had ended today. I needed to tell Shion that I was safe without a moment's delay. After all, he was probably trembling in fear at this very moment, worrying about when she would be killed. The ostentatious door on the other side opened, revealing what must have been an incredibly expansive space based on the echo it made. Ian groped around in the darkness and a handful of naked light bulbs came on here and there. My eyes adjusted, more and more of the great cave showed itself in the faint light. The walls were bare rock surface, and it felt so savage that bomb shelter was the most apt term for it. There were small barred rooms built here and there, like holes made by insects biting their way through a giant piece of fruit. It was immediately clear that each one of them was a prison.
みんなはどこにいるんだ？リカちゃんやサトコは。
したい？
Yeah. I grimaced at her having said it so outright.
ああ、そうだ。いつまでも暗い中じゃかわいそうだろ。
虫が湧くと嫌だったから井戸に捨てちゃったよ。ごめん。
Jesus Christ. I can't remember that. So I can't even see their faces in death. Once again, my feelings of regret at having confessed everything to Rika-chan came surging forth. If Mion hadn't attached the word sorry to the end of what she had said, I might have punched her. Calm down, Keiichi Maebara. You said it yourself, no matter what, Mion Zonosaki is your greatest friend.
言ったさ。
I needed to hear myself say it out loud. Then came the clattering of bars in one of the cells deeper in. When I noticed it, I looked up as well.
シオン！シオンか！
ケイちゃんなの？
What's that, lassie? Satoko fell down the well. Oh god. Oh god. Jesus Christ, that's cruel. I ran over to the cell. White hands were peeking out through the gaps in the bars. It truly was her.
大丈夫か？シオン！ はしていないのか。
Satoko fell down the well. God damn, you know how to relieve tension. Shion's face twisted out of shape as she screamed. It was because Mion had appeared right behind me. Of course. Shion didn't know that everything was over yet. I spoke in as calm a voice as I could manage to try and soothe the agitated Shion. However, it didn't seem like it was getting through her screams.
Shion, ご機嫌はいかがだ?
Okay, Jesus. Shion, who was screaming and rattling the iron bars back and forth, was truly in a frantic state. I gave a slight shrug of resignation, giving way to Mion. I had realized that if Mion was the one who locked her in here, and if Mion was the one who had scared Shion this much, then Mion was also the only one who could put an end to this. I must save Shion, but I don't know how. Mion spoke from over my shoulder, quietly.
安心しなよ。あんたは殺さない。まだまだ殺さないんだから。
He burst out into a bizarre laugh, as if trying to make Shion's madness even worse. Shion broke out into a fierce shiver, brought on by that laugh, and rattled the iron bars as she wailed. There is no happy ending. There is no happy endings in Higurashi.
古式にのっとり、獅子の先端から少しずつガリゴリと削ってミンチにしてやる。あの肉引き機はあんたのために取っておいてやるんだからね。それともそれでケイちゃんをミンチにしてみせた方があんたには面白いかな。
おい、いい加減にしろ。今さら怖がらせてどうするんだよ。
I tried to rebuke Mion for flinging terrible words at her like this late in the game, but when I turned around, Mion's mouth, so much so that it was hard to believe, had twisted into a shape even thinner than a crescent moon. It was a smile. I could sense it like a jolt of electricity. The person here wasn't my best friend Mion. It wasn't the Mion Sonosaki who had been tossed about by her heavy duty of succeeding the Sonosaki family either. Then who was she? BAM! I saw sparks flying before my eyes, like what happens when you get hit in the back of the head. The strength in my body drained instantly, and my head suddenly became heavy. My knees buckled under the temptation and hit the floor. Then my whole body abruptly collapsed. My face should have hit the floor, but it was comfortable, as if I had fallen onto a downfilled futon. My consciousness reeled, then receded. It was the kind of sensation, like if you took a nap in the car, but you were still half awake, and could listen to your parents talking as if they were far away. No, you wouldn't be listening, you would only be hearing it. It was happening so far away, and the conversation was completely unrelated to you, so you would have no interest in it. Mion looks pretty happy. Yeah, better not to think about that. So whether Shion was yelling in my ears or Mion was in vulgar hysterics, I didn't think it annoying, nor did it interest me.
さて、どんな方法で料理してやろうかね。そうだ、釘台なんかどうかな。あのちびがき二人組に試したかったんだけど、手が小さくて高速台にサイズが合わなかったからね。あれにしよう、あれにしよう。
Oh, this'll be lovely. Mion held me up from behind and dragged me across the floor. The soles of my feet scraped on it and one of my shoes fell off. Shion's emotions exploded outward, and she burst into bitter weeping. As if her crying had whetted Mion's interest, she helped flung me down and returned to the prison cell again.
あんたのわざとらしい辛い針には虫唾が走ってたんだけど。いや、ミオン姉さん、お願いです。私をどういう風に殺しても構いませんから。どうか、ケイちゃんだけは見逃してあげてください。お願いです。
Shion had always acted as though she were a cut above her older sister. That Shion, in such a miserable voice that I couldn't have imagined it during those peaceful times, prostrated herself before the older sister she used to scoff at and pleaded forgiveness. Mion looked down with an expression of cool indifference, one that was plainly smiling with joy.
あんたの希望なんか聞くつもりは全然なかったんだけど、あんたがあまりにも面白い声で泣くものだから、なんだか聞いててやってもいいような気がしてきたかな。思えばあんたには姉らしいこと何にもしてやれなかったからね。はい、ありがとうございます。じゃあさ、これまでのことを謝ってみせて。そうしたら私もこれまでのことをすっかり水に流してあげてもいいかな。そうしたらケイちゃんだけは見逃してあげなくもないよ。
Mion said she might let me go, but she never said anything about letting Shion go. Before long, Shion got on her hands and knees behind the bars and began to speak weak words of apology. They were too faint for me to hear, but their intention got across. Despite having watched her with a magnificently jubilant expression, Mion kicked the bars and declared she was unsatisfied. Mouse dancing to the MIDI music. Yes.
こんなんじゃダメだね。やっぱりケイちゃんからひき肉だ。いやー、待って姉様。もう一度だけ。
Mion stopped and waved her hand again in resignation. Not because she had grown impatient, but only because she was taking delight in abusing Shion.
ろくろく満足に謝れないあんただからね。特別にお姉が心に届く謝罪の仕方ってのを教えてあげるよ。一度しか教えないし、 一言一句でも間違えたらアウト。いいね。ありがとうございます。
Shion's miserable voice cried out, having become utterly hoarse. The sensation tearing through my chest returned a little at a time. I realized it was feelings of anger bubbling up. I was slowly regaining control of my body. However, I was unable to feel my skin and my blood flowing at the moment. I still couldn't voluntarily move my fingers.
覚えられたかな。ではやってごらん。誠心誠意、鉄頭鉄尾、心を込めてね。ちゃんとできたなら、あんただけを殺してあげるから。はい。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Something was strange. Something had become strange at some point. Until just a few moments ago, I was sure this had been Mion, but at some point... I was sure this had been Mion, but at some point, she had become someone else. The Mion I knew would never do something so nasty like enjoy trampling all over someone's dignity like this.
やってごらん。お姉ちゃんはちゃんと聞いててあげるから。その崎シオンは。
When I ran over to Shion's cell earlier, the real thing had been popped out with a fake right behind me. Anyway, this couldn't possibly be Mion.
その崎シオンはミオン姉様の足元にも及ばない。とにかく情け知らずな愚か者でございます。身の程をわきまえずお姉様に働いた数々の無礼を思えばほらほらその調子。少しは許してあげようかなって気になってきたよ。
Blood circulated through my whole body. My numbed senses were returning. Just a little more. While Shion is holding Mion's, know that thing pretending to be Mion's attention. Hurry up.
生意気だったこれまでを反省し一緒ミオン姉様に忠誠を誓う。
Mion's burst of laughter echoed throughout the big cave, growing to a terrifying level. That was not the laugh of someone who was alive in this world. It was none other than the laugh of a demon from the bowels of... from the bowels of the earth. She laughed from her stomach until she grew tired of it, and stopped smiling until suddenly, as if snipping a wire.
いいよ、もう十分面白かったわ。あんたがそこまでプライドを捨てられるとは思わなかった。十分に愉快。
Mion began to drag me again after I finally got the feeling in my body back and pulled me towards the torture chamber.
姉様、殺すのは私だけ。その人許して。安心しなって。ちゃんとあんたは殺してあげるよ。ケイちゃんの悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせた後にね。
After dragging me to the torture chamber, she skillfully strapped me into the restraining table. Before I knew it, I was sprawled out and bound. She forced open my hands, with which I couldn't even make a satisfying fist, and tightly restrained each one of my fingers. She fastened only my hands and my fingers at that, tightly with hinges and locked them in place. The door to the big cave with the jails had been left open, so I could hear Shion's cries of mortification the entire time. Give it a fucking rest already, bitch. The feeling in my body returned, and the first action I took was to tell off that thing that looked like Mion.
ようやくお目覚め。私、さっき嘘をついたね。シオンを一番むごたらしく殺してやろうと思って閉じ込めておいたけど、まだ思いつかないって言ったやつ。あれが嘘。
Mion brought over something like a toolbox. From inside it, she removed a large metal hammer, and next to that, she began to line up what looked like long, strangely shaped nails, whose ends had been turned into hooks like the kinds you see on harpoon.
あの子は自分のせいで死ぬ大勢の人の悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせて、体の芯まで染み通らせて殺すの。なかなかセンスいいでしょ。
お前は誰だ？
Just who the hell do you think I am?
はあ？ 園崎美音。
Zonozaki Mion.
恐怖で頭が変になっちゃった。
違うな。お前が園崎ミオンであるはずがない。
Oh, this is epic. Mion snorted and continued her preparations for the horrifying torture.
へえ。じゃあ私がミオンじゃなかったら私は誰なわけ？
鬼だ。
Onida.
お前はミオンじゃない。さっきまで一緒だったミオンを返せ。
ケイちゃん、本当に頭は大丈夫？
I wonder how long this torture is going to last because I'm getting really hungry and I need to eat really soon.
恐怖で頭がどうかなっちゃった？
触るな。この鬼め。返せ。ミオンを返せよ。俺の最高の友人だった。ミオンを返せ。
Mion stood there for a few moments with her jaw hanging open, not having expected me to say that. I myself knew that I was about to go insane. I knew it was nonsense to demand Mion's return when she was right in front of me. But, this person in front of me couldn't possibly have been Mion. There was no way I could accept that. So this is what I thought. Mion really had been possessed by a demon, and was controlling Mion as if it were a separate personality. Mion was just a victim being manipulated by it. The evil one was really this thing. It all had to be the doing of this demon possessing her. When Mion heard that, she started to guffer. Guffer? Apologies for a sec once again.
Guffaw. American guffaw.
Guffaw. Guffaw, laughing so hysterically that she started to cough and almost choked.
だって本当におめでたい人だね。園崎美音に殺されようとしているこの瞬間に目の前の私を否定するわけ？面白い人がいる中に初めて知ったわ。
笑いたければ好きなだけ笑え。だが、お前が何を言おうと、俺はお前がミオンだなんて認めない。ミオンを返せ。退け、鬼め。
Away with you, demon. No matter what, I wouldn't lose to that laughter of hers. I shouted loudly. I shouted from the bottom of my heart, so that the real Mion, trapped inside the Mion that I saw in front of me, would be able to hear.
頑張れミオン。
頑張れ。
こんな鬼畜生に負けるな。本当に強いお前の力を見せてくれ。
The tears welled up and flooded down her face. Her hands were busy with the restraints, so she couldn't even wipe them, just let them flow.
頼むよミオン。ミオン。どこでお前はこんな鬼に負けちまったんだ。お前はこんな弱いやつじゃないだろ。負けるな。戦え。戦え。
Mion, desperately enduring her laughter, pressed one of the long nails to the tip of my left pinky. In her left hand was the hammer. At her side were dozens more nails. I could tell what she was about to do, and though I wish I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't afford to be scared. That was why I shouted.
お腹の筋肉がよじれて痛いよ。もういい？そろそろ始めるよ。いい声を出してね。これはケイちゃんへの拷問である以上にシオンへの拷問なんだからさ。
どうしてこんなことに。
Sound like Iron Maiden is. Yeah.
ミオン。
Then I wept. Only sobs came out. They weren't in acceptance of the torture about to be performed, however. They were tears of regret that Mion had lost to the demon. Yet a small change did occur in the Mion in front of me. Her heightened excitement was draining, little by little. By the time I realized it, the one in front of me had returned to being on Mion.
ケイちゃん、メイドの土産なんて気の利いたものじゃないけれど。どうしても知りたがっているようだから一つだけ教えてあげるよ。
I didn't know if this was Mion, or just a display of momentary humanity that Hugh and Demon had recovered.
私の中に鬼が宿ったのはずいぶん前。その鬼は私を蝕み、強行に駆り立てようとした。だけれど私はそれを理性で抑えつけた。鬼はそれで収まり、私はその鬼はどこかへ行ってしまったんだと思い込んでいた。でも本当は違った。私の中から出て行ったんじゃなく、私の中で眠っていただけだったの。
I noticed that there were tears forming in her eyes.
その鬼はある小さなことをきっかけにまた目覚めてしまった。 それは何に原因があったと思う？
There was a sad yet reproachful light in Mion's eyes.
わかる？
I don't. I don't know what gave the demon the chance to beat Mion.
鬼の私が教えるのも変だけれど、あんたが全てを狂わせてしまった元凶。
The tears welling up in her eyes spilled downward all of a sudden.
あの時、あんたがもらった人形を躊躇なく私に渡していたなら、全ては狂い出さなかったかもしれない。
The doll I got. That doll I got when we had our club meeting at the toy store that Sunday.
ケイちゃんには理解できないだろうね。理解できなくて当然。だけどね、そこからドミノ倒しみたいにパタパタパタといろんなものが倒れ始めた。初めの小さな一つを倒したあなたに自覚がないのは当然だろうけど、あなたが元凶なの。
そんな俺が
I kinda remembered that.
あんたがミオンを泣かさなかったら、私は起きなくて済んだのにね。これで十分？メイドの土産は。
A mistake that I'd made on that day was that messed everything up.
そんな嘘だろ。
自覚がないのは当然。でも紛れもなく元凶なのはケイちゃん。あの時あんたがさりげなく人形を私にあげていたら、多分こんなことにはならなかったと思う。
I wanted to say, like I just remembered something as I recalled that day. When I had told me about that, I thought I had apologized. I didn't apologize to Mion though. It had been Shion. In other words, oh god. I hadn't said a single word of apology to Mion. Today I came to this house saying I had something to apologize for, but I never said a word of apology about this. Come to think of it, when I apologized for going into the ritual storehouse, Mion looked a bit lonely, like she was disappointed. Why didn't I realize that until just now? Rena had told me at the time, and now she herself, no, the demon was telling me. It's the only way for a dense idiot like me to be cured, to die altogether. It's a happy game! I could no longer hold back the hot tears from pouring out of me. I simply just cried and cried, and reflected indifferently on the taste of my tears, on the taste of regret.
じゃあそろそろいい？この拷問はね、とってもシンプル。左手の小指の先端の節に釘を打つ。順に親指まで打ったら、また小指に戻って、今度は真ん中の節に釘を打つ。この調子で15本の釘で左手を打ちつける。それが終わったら次は右手。それが終わったら次は、まだ意識があったら教えるね。指先ってたくさんの神経が集まってるから、ケイちゃんが想像するよりもはるかに痛いよ。両手30本を打ち終える前に失神しちゃう人もいるそうだから。
Ian pressed the tip of the nail into my my left pinky finger. My wrists, my arms, and all the joints on my fingers were strapped in so tightly it hurt, and I couldn't even twitch.
他の人を拷問するときに
But I could
何のためらいもなか
twitch.
ったけど、
I didn't hesitate at what?
なぜかあんたにはためらいがあるよ。
それでミオンの鬼が収まるなら
If it will sate the demon, then do to me what you will.
あんた 本気で言ってるの？
俺が傷つけたミオンの痛みに比べればこんなの大したことないんだろ。気の済むようにするといい。その代わり2つ約束しろ。
Mian was silent. She did, however, wait for me to speak.
俺を気が済むまで痛めつけたらシオンは許してやれ。
Biggest for serious things are trivial things. Indeed, indeed. That is very much true.
最具殿に忍び込んだ罪にはそれで十分見合う仕打ちをしたはずだ。
あんた、この後に及んで自分よりシオンの心配ができるわけ？
もう一つは気が済んだらもうお前は消えろ。その体をミオンに返してやってくれ。それだけだ。
あんたって人には命乞いをするとかそういう考えは思い浮かばないの？
約束2つじゃなくて3つ目は俺を殺すなにしてくれ。
最初に2つって言ったでしょ。だからもうダメ。
そいつは残念。
In such an abnormal situation, Mion and I laughed quietly together, as if sharing in a stupid joke.
多分私は約束を守らないよ。鬼だから。
その時は仕方がないさ。
I recall tightening my hands into fists when enduring the pain at the dentist's office. Right now, though, they were opened all the way to my fingertips, so I couldn't even grip them. So instead I tightened my toes. Okay, do it. I've prepared myself already, so do it. You waiting like this to hammer the nails is scarier. Going to diminish my readiness after all. Ian put down the hammer and gently stroked my cheek.
ケイちゃん、今の3つ目の願いだけは聞いて。
My third wish, to save me. You'll agree to it?
1つ目の願い、シオンを救うこと。これはもう無理。シオンは鬼が殺してしまう。それはもう決められたことだから止められない。だから諦めて。
Her delicate fingers slid down from my cheek to my chin.
そして2つ目の願い、この体をミオンに返すこと。これももう無理。今日を境にミオンが戻ってくることはもうない。今日以降、もし私の姿があったとしても、それは姿だけ。私の姿をした鬼だから。
そんなことはない。ミオンはミオンだ。もう戻ってこないなんて悲しいことを言うな。
聞こえる？あの音。
Mion gently closed her eyes and listened. I definitely heard it as well. Slam. Slam. It was a dull noise that repeated at fixed intervals. A low noise accompanied by vibrations. A lot of people were ramming the iron doors to this underground ritual storehouse.
帰りが遅いからレナが大石を呼んだんでしょ。あのぼやーっとした感じの子がこんなに頭が回るのだけは計算外だったな。
それについては同感だよ。
Mion grinned like she'd been outwitted, then took something that looked like an electric razor out of her pocket. When she pressed the switch, pale blue sparks flew out with a snapping noise.
見たことないでしょ。本物のスタンガンだよ。違法品なんでかなり出力が上げられるようになってるけどね。
さっき俺に食らわせたのはそれか。子供のおもちゃには向かねえぞ。
そうだね。
She seemed to want to use the stun gun on me. Unable to move, I felt her press the cool lump of metal on my neck. Glam! I heard a roar as though they'd broken down the first large door. The halls were a bit complex, but aside from the door to this very torture chamber, there was nothing in their way.
殺さないけど、しばらくケイちゃんにはお休みしててもらうね。すぐに大石が来てくれるから。ちょっとの我慢。
Feeling the same shock as before. Gritting my teeth wasn't going to help much, but I clenched them tightly anyway. However, just as she did when she was about to hammer the nails in, she hesitated a little. I cracked open my tightly closed eyelids.
ごめんね。ミオンを怪我して。
ここに入る前に約束した。何があっても俺の中のミオンは変わらない。
でも忘れて。今日以降、もしも私を見かけても、それは私の屍に取り付いた鬼なんだから。
What are you talking about? Just as I tried to say that, much stronger light than before shined, and like a television being switched off, my consciousness went black. Boom! In June 1983, a string of disappearances occurred in Hinamizawa village, Shishibone City, XX Prefecture. The suspect is Mion Zanosaki, 10x years old. She is suspected to have kidnapped 5 Hinamizawa residents between June 19 and June 21. Oryu Zanosaki, Shion Zanosaki, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi, Erika Furuda, and Satoku Hojo imprisoned them and killed them. Preliminary investigations on the incident were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but it was resolved coincidentally and shockingly. On the morning of the 23rd, a vehicle patrolling the Zanosaki property heard screams from inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. They secured the suspect's missing younger sister, Shion Zanosaki, and her two missing classmates, Deichi Maibara and Rena Ryugu. The suspect fled the scene. Deep in the detached basement of the Zanosaki property, which is believed to have been used to kill those who had disappeared, we discovered hair, flakes of skin, blood, etc. of the 4 other missing persons, Oryu Zanosaki, Kishiro, blah blah blah. We concluded that the missing persons were tortured in the torture chamber. However, their remains have still not been found. At one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, we continued searching the detached basement of the Zanosaki property, which was where they were imprisoned, believing that they were there. However, we still have not located them or the suspect's escape route. In addition, investigations are continuing as to her participation in the serial freak death incidents of recent years, thinking it would give some clue. Is this the story of the 21 episodes of the... yes, I think so, but it's... This game is just one arc of them, so... And it's... The... TV series just recaps, every arc is just one game, and the games are just different chapters, and the chapters, it's a convoluted mess of a game. But no evidence that Mion Zanosaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. There are still many unclear points as to the motive behind the incident, and as those of Zanosaki family and the residents of Hinamizawa have been extremely uncooperative in assisting us, We expect to require a long time to clarify them. The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable about the region is that this may have been a lynching, an internal form of punishing sacrilegious acts carried out against the beliefs of Hinamizawa village. It is clear that these incidents are particularly rooted in this region, and the prefectural police department has ordered a cautious investigation. We anticipated gaining valuable clues from the missing person believed to have been imprisoned for the longest time, Shion Sonsaki, the suspect's younger sister. But her mind was stricken by the grave after-effects of the incident, and she had not been in state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. The psychiatrist concluded that she is in a temporary state of shock, but it doesn't seem hopeful that she will recover today either. Only a few days passed since that time. After that, I was rescued by Oishi-san and his subordinates whom Rena had called in. Aside from my entirely blank state of mind, I had no external injuries. The most I had was a small burn mark from where the stun gun had hit me. As I was having a checkup in the hospital, Oishi-san asked me all sorts of things, but I don't really remember what he asked or how I answered him. From what I heard, surprisingly, Mion still hadn't been captured. There were apparently a great many hallways and smaller rooms extending out from the depths of the prison. It wouldn't be strange if she had fled to one of those and hidden herself. If the one fortunate aspect amidst all the misfortune was that Shion had been safely secured by the police. When I last saw Mion, she seemed like she was going to take me with her and then kill me. Apologies for a sec. He probably didn't have enough time though, since Oishi-san came running in faster than she predicted. That was the only really fortunate thing to have happened. Of course, the rescued Shion, despite having no external wounds, now had a big, deep wound in her heart. She was in a severe state of confusion when they rescued her, and apparently she beat the police officers trying to resist. From what he heard, she was seeing Mion in everyone she saw, hated not only the hospital, but even her own home. And had shut herself up somewhere in Shishibone, hiding her location. Additionally, in fear that Mion would come for her, she was moving from place to place every day, and even her parents weren't sure where she actually was. Wherever she was living, even now Shion was spending her days in fear of Mion's shadow. The police were investigating the Zamasaki's underground storehouse at this moment, since they couldn't find the remains of the other sacrifice. Hadn't Mion thrown the corpses into the well? I had a feeling I'd said that to him. That meant a hidden tunnel vertical like a well was somewhere in those underground passages. The secret underground without any maps or architectural drawings, which had swallowed up the remains of Rika-chan, Satoko, and everyone else, was still unwilling to speak the truth. I was brought back to the basement again, for an on-site inspection or something, but I didn't remember being of any help. I never want to go back there again. For days afterwards, the Sanosakis living in Okinomiya, in other words, Mion and Shion's parents, and the big name Yakuza, would come to our house and apologize, bringing many of their followers with them. However much my parents refused it, they piled up many 100,000 yen bills, calling consolation money every day. The amount of money grew each day, and after it had passed 2 million yen. Holy shit! They were then given an envelope containing a letter. I don't know what was written in the letter. My parents talked about it by themselves for 2 whole nights and decided to move away.
そっか。引っ越しちゃうんだね。いつ？
来月の終わり。ひなみ沢には結局半年も居つかなかったことになるな。
寂しくなるね。
Aww. Porrena.
私一人しか残らない。
Rena smiled sadly. If I had just said yeah, I thought it would make her even more lonely. So I changed the subject.
こう考えることがあるんだ。
That's how I broached it. Mion hadn't actually fled, but had been deemed away in the truest sense of the term. Where she went after she disappeared, that we didn't know. What was there where she had disappeared to? I hope there was a hobby shop dealing in imports, the kind Mion liked. In that place, she would definitely be free from the burdensome fetters of her family, and live not as Mion Sanosaki, but just as Mion, and enjoy herself. Maybe she already met up with Satoko and Rika-chan. They must have also been waiting for the day Rena and I would join them, spending all their time doing club activities, as lively as they always were. When I told Rena that, she smiled and nodded to me. The incidents of the Sanosaki family had been trying so hard to hide too were exposed to the magazines from this single tiny seam. The serial incidents of the recent years were all pulled up like a long vine in the ground, one by one, for many days news of it was brought up on talk and variety shows. The shows, which were comedic and silly, never once tried to touch upon the grim, heavy history that Mion had been bearing. It made me mad to see them bringing this stuff up in jest, but there was nothing I could do about it now. How big of an impression would this short few weeks I spent in Hinamizawa have on my life? During these few weeks, I met my best friends and had the best experiences of my life. I would probably never forget about it for as long as I lived. As for the distorted image of Mion that the media created, after the masses got tired of treating her like a plaything, they would ball her up, throw her out in the trash, and then she would fade from their memories. As one of the few people who knew the real Mion, must always make sure I remember her. Beyond any doubt, that will surely become my offering to her. The sky reached so far up, and towering cumulonimbus clouds floated through it. The real summer was just before our eyes. Was that it? No, there's still epilogue. Even now, whenever 10 p.m. came around, I would expect a phone call from Shion or Mion rather. Now that everything was over, of course, she would never call me. But it was precisely because she wouldn't call me that I was scared of who would call me this time. Plus, Mion still hadn't been caught. I couldn't say for sure that everything was completely over. On the other side of that fear, though, were my prayers that Mion was safe. When I thought like that, I was able to sleep, even with such terrifying thoughts. Lights were off. Before her attacking when the lights were off was something that scared me. However, that feeling changed to regret within 2 days. The moonlight filtering through the gap in the curtains shone onto the desk and illuminated a doll. That's right, a doll that I should have given to me on that day. She said it was an import from England or something, and was all the rage, didn't she? From what Shion said, the most popular among them were the ones wearing the fluffy dress. After being released from the incident, the first place I went to was that toy store. Everything was apparently sold out besides the things on the storefront displays. I was refused once when they said they wouldn't sell the display products, but when they realized I was a survivor A from that incident, they immediately consented. Of course, even if I bought it, I might never have the chance to give it to her again. Even knowing that, I waited for the opportunity to give it to her. I waited like this for the opportunity, with it on the desk, so I could give it to her at any time. Long. There was a weird noise. It was a noise I wasn't used to hearing. It was too big to be raindrops, but it was completely different from the sound Lost Box made when they ran into fluorescent lights. I must have misheard and nestled back into my foot and plonk. The noise happened again. I wasn't hearing things. I definitely heard it. Where was it coming from? I got up and turned on the light. If there was a second, there would be a third. From where, though? I listened carefully. Plonk. The window. Some sort of pebbles were colliding with my window. When I realized they weren't being blown there by the wind, but rather being thrown by a person, I gave a start. I looked at the clock. It was 2 a.m. Who would it be at a time like this? I quietly peeked out front through the gap in the curtains. In the light at the gate. Despite it being so late, I saw someone. They picked up a piece of gravel and threw it at this window. It hit the window and made a plonking noise. Who was it? Oh my, there's no way it will be Mion. I got my breath in surprise. If my eyes weren't deceiving me, that person was Mion. I threw open the window and looked at the figure again. My eyes certainly weren't deceiving me. It was Mion. It was Mion. She was alive. Mion pressed her index finger to her lips and made a shh motion so I wouldn't shout. If she hadn't, well, I was nearly about to cry out. Mion was in a very delicate position right now. Even if it was right in the middle of the night, I shouldn't call out her name. I waved to her, gesturing that I'd be right over, flung on my coat atop my pajamas, and flew out the door. I quickly hit the brakes just before going down the stairs. Although happiness was sprouting within me, I had the sad feeling that this would be our final parting. So I went back to my room again and grabbed the doll. If there was a god, I don't think I would have thanked him as much as today. Even if it would be the last time we ever saw each other, I was so grateful for this one chance to give it to her. I slipped into my sandals, unlocked the door, unhooked the chain, and leaped out of the house.
Mio!
久しぶり。どう？元気にしてた？
It was like how we used to meet every morning. Mion waved to me and responded like she always did. It was doubtlessly Mion. It was the real
お
Mion.
前こんなところをうろついてて大丈夫なのか？
本当はいけないよ。
She certainly wasn't acting like she knew the police were following her. It was almost like she was a patient who had gotten tired of staying in the hospital and had snuck out. Her speech was relaxed enough to make me think that, and I couldn't help but be surprised. That relaxation, though, I thought, was more like Mion, and I was happy for it.
それよりどうしたんだよこんな時間に。
最後にお話ししたかったから。
That was when I noticed them. On Mion's forehead were big droplets of sweat. Her expression too, which I had thought to be a satisfied smile, was upon closer inspection trembling slightly, and I realized that she was forcing it.
私ね。もうここにはいられない。
A pained note was beginning to enter her words as well, as if just smiling was a weak feat for her.
大丈夫か？どこか具合でも。
今日まで頑張ってきたけど自分でもわかるの。もうダメ。もう限界。私のお迎えはもうすぐ後ろまで来てる。
Jan's smile crumbled and started to stiffen. Did she push herself this much and come all this way for me? Her laughter cut off and changed into rough breathing. I reached out to rub her back, but she knocked me away.
大丈夫かよ。もう無理するな。な、そうだ。俺ミオンに。
To give you, Mion, this doll. I had wanted to do this one last thing because I knew how little time you had left. But this last thing, it... Oh. Oh, right! Ugh. My stomach is burning. Mion took a meat cleaver-like knife and stabbed me, and pushed it in tight and took it and twisted it. Mion? Hey, what? It hurts. I completely forgot about this. I cowered on the ground. My stomach was so hot, it was almost spewing fire. Mion watched it, then took a few steps back and cackled.
できた。全部できた。私が殺したやつはこれで全員。
Well then. Last words Mion left me with that day came back to me.
今日を境にミオンが戻ってくることはもうない。
From today on, even if my body is here, a body is all that will be left. All that it will be. By then the demon will have taken it over. Demon. A demon. A demon. Cool. Full transition, mate. This can't. I thought we had finally been able to meet. This can't. Mion. In a pool of blood of my own design is the doll I bought for Mion. Dyed in red. So red. Mion. The good fortune of having been allowed to meet Mion once more, and the misfortune of that meeting being torn apart before my eyes. Should I be grateful or curse it? My emotions were neither of those, as my consciousness sunk deep into a black swamp. The doll I bought for Mion, the blood had ruined it. No matter how I scrubbed and scrubbed, it had needlessly been ruined. The sad moon was so white it looked frozen. June 28th, 1983. A violent incident occurred in Hinamizawa village, Shishibone City, Prefecture. Victim was Keiichi Maebara, also a victim of the previous string of disappearances. At around 2 a.m. he was stabbed in the stomach with a bladed object by the suspect of the last case, Miyazaki, and was gravely wounded. He was discovered when his parents woke up and was then transported to the clinic. He escaped death? Holy shit! The criminal fled the scene. On the same day, at approximately the same time, a fatal accident occurred in the Kamishiki apartment complex in Shishibone City, Prefecture. The victim was Shion Sonosaki, also a victim of the previous string of disappearances. Late on the same night, neighbors overheard her having a big fight with someone and informed the manager. The manager used the master key to enter the room and discovered that the victim had fallen from her 8th floor balcony to her death. The room had been torn apart and appeared to show traces of a fight. One neighbor has frequently visited the Sonosaki house for a long time and testified that he heard what sounded just like two sisters having a fight, trading insults back and forth. We believe this was related to the injury case that occurred the same day in Hinamizawa village, perpetrated by said incident's suspect, and did a thorough search of the room, but we could not find any traces that would imply that anyone but the victim was present. The victim fell straight down into the foliage of a parking strip. Her neck broke and she died immediately. Her clothing was disheveled and had markings that would imply a scuffle. We also believe, however, that it could have been an insanity-induced suicide attempt based on the particular mental state of the victim after the incident. We are conducting a thorough examination on both fronts, suicide and homicide. Man, this is awesome. But really sad. But really awesome. So freaking good.
本当に5分だけですからね。刺激しないようにしてください。
心得ていますよ。
Clack clack. The door opened and as I expected, Oishi-san came in.
どうも前原さん。ご無沙汰しておりますね。その後、お加減はいかがですか？
医者が言うには術後の回復は順調だそうですが、あんたの顔を見たらまた傷が悪くなりそうです。
こりゃ手厳しい。
As Oishi-san gave a laugh that smelled of sweat, he handed Mom a bag of assorted candies he must have purchased from the souvenir corner on the first floor of the hospital.
すみません、お母さん。ほんのしばらく圭一君とお話しする時間をいただいてもよろしいですか？
Mom clearly wasn't pleased at the thought of a police officer talking to her son without her there. However, I insisted.
母さん、悪いけど ほんのちょっとだけ。5分でいいから。
Though grudgingly, Mom left the room. When she closed the door, Oishi-san grinned widely and looked around the room.
個室なんていい身分ですね。うちのばあさまなんかいっつも相部屋ですよ。そりゃもう賑やかなことで。ああいうところじゃ病気の重さが一つのステータスになるらしいんですよ。より重病な患者ほど偉いというか、威張っているというか。
大石さん、5分ですよ。できれば、これが本当に最後の5分にしてほしいものです。俺はもうひなみ沢とは関係ないし、ここももうひなみ沢じゃない。
沖宮には総合病院はありませんからね。椅子よろしいですかな。ゆっくらしゅっと。
This was a large university hospital in Shishibone City. It was splendidly urban, entirely different from the likes in Hinamizawa and Okinomiya. It was hard to believe Hinamizawa was a part of the same city.
転院はいつ頃になりそうですか？
さあ、俺的にはいつでも OK なんですけどね。
Our moving plans were delayed a little because of my serious injury. My parents had already left the house in Hinamizawa though, and were living in our new one. They planned to have me transfer hospitals to be closer to the new house once I'd recovered enough to be taken there.
転院先にまで来ないでくださいよ。本当に具合が悪くなりますからね。
いや、すっかり嫌われちゃい
You
ました。
really do hate me. Oh, Oishi.
仕事柄とはいえ心苦しいですよ。なので今日はこれまでの罪滅ぼしに素敵なお土産をいろいろお持ちしましたので。
別にクッキーの詰め合わせなんか持ってこなくても。
それがね、実は中身はクッキーじゃないんですよ。ほら。
Oishi-san pulls open a can of cookies and oh, I'm scratching my scar.
前原さんの好みがわからなかったのでいろいろと持ってきましたよ。ほら、よりどり緑の腹は黄緑ってなもんです。さあさ、好きなだけ持っていっちゃってください。
Okay.
こんな本なんか持ってこないでください。
Oh, what a lovely light-hearted ending in the game.
持って帰って持って帰って。いってててててて。
健全な若者がこんなところにずーっと閉じ込められてたら、こんなところにいると看護師フェチにしかなりませんよ。
Jesus Christ, man.
世の中には看護師さん以外にも素晴らしいものがいっぱいあるんですからね。今から専門を決めないで幅広く。
God damn.
じゃ。
I gave Oishi-san's vulgar laughter a vain grin. Somehow or other I understood. The fact that Oishi-san was bringing it up like this meant that he must have had something more important to talk about.
シオンさんの件は本当にお気の毒でした。
The night I was stabbed by Mion, Shion fell from her balcony and died. They said the police were investigating all possibilities, accident, suicide and homicide, but it could only have been Mion's doing. Mion found out where Shion was hiding and pushed her down to her death. Nothing else was conceivable.
事故のわけない。ミオンです。絶対に。
鑑識の連中は自殺だとしか思えないなんて言ってるんですが、シオンさんを突き落とし、さらにあなたを刺した。一晩のうちにね。
ミオンはまだ見つからないんですか？
そうそう。それを今日はお伝えしたくて来たんですよ。 はい。実は見つかったんです。
Oh my.
あ、て。
Learning that felt rather strange to me. I was partly relieved that the incident was truly over, and I was partly sorry that my best friend had finally been caught. I felt many other things too. My heart was a maze of emotions.
それだけじゃない。園崎家の例の地下、隠し井戸も見つかったんですよ。前原さんがおっしゃられてた通り、失踪者全員の遺体をその底で発見しました。
そうですか。
That sliver of hope, that possibility I'd believed in, that Rika-chan and Satoko were alive, just from the fact their remains hadn't been found. Gone.
あの地下に実に巧妙に隠されてましてね。いやいや、まさに死角中の死角でした。井戸状に掘られた垂直トンネルでして、はしごが設けてあって、下へずーっと行ったところに、今度は横へ抜けるトンネルが作られていました。
Can we please finish up this story soon? It's not like it's boring, but I've had my fair share of this madness already.
そこを数百メートルも張って進むと、なんと山中の古井戸に抜けられましたね。
過去の園崎家の当主が作らせた秘密の逃げ道だったんでしょうね。
でしょうな。明治以降に作ったものでしょうが、いやいや、よくもあんなものを作ったもんです。
みんなの遺体はその底に。
はい。逃げ道の通路よりもさらに下にコールタール状の泥水が溜まってまして、そこに無造作に投げ込まれていました。相当の高さから落としたわけですから、遺体はどっぷりと埋まってしまってましてね。遺体の引き上げにはだいぶ苦労させられました。
全員見つかりましたか？
I hoped that they at least wouldn't find Rika-chan or Satoko. That's what I wished for when I asked, but my shallow hope was crushed in the blink of an eye.
はい。全員。それどころか死後10年以上経過したと思われる人骨も見つかりました。最低でも3人分はあると思われます。ひなみ沢の歴史の暗部というわけでしょうな。泥を全部吸い出したら一体何人分の骨が出てくるやら。怖い話です。
That weight had been pushing down on Mion's shoulders the whole time. Mion.
今、鹿骨市内の過去数十年の失踪者を洗い直しているところです。諦められてた失踪事件もこれを機に全部解決するんじゃないかなんて言われてますよ。
After a deep silence, I breathed a heavy sigh. Oishi-san went for his cigarettes to pass the time, but realized this was a known smoking area, so he gave up and put them back in his shirt pocket.
そうそう。
Yes, bad Oishi. No smoking in a hospital.
これは寄り道なんですが、古出里香さんご存知ですよね。
もちろん仲間ですから。
彼女、例えば糖尿病でインスリンの注射を常用していたとか、そんな話はありました？
Oh? Rika-chan has diabetes? Diabetes? I didn't know what he was talking about.
実は彼女のスカートのポッケからですね。 注射器が見つかりまして、破損していたので薬物は特定できなかったのですが、少々不似合いだったので興味を持ちまして。本当にご存知ありません？
I didn't know anything about Rika-chan carrying syringes around with her.
園崎家は本業の方、薬剤屋さんのことです。で、覚醒剤を扱ってるとの噂がありましてね。その可能性もあるかなんて思ってたのですが。
リカちゃんが覚醒剤の常用者だっていうのか？
いえいえ、そうは申してませんよ。ただ、お醤油をもらいに行くついでに注射器を持っていくってのは、どう考えても変ですからね。
I have no idea what any of this means. No, me neither, Cage. Me neither. What the hell? This is rather strange. My eyes are spinning. I feel sick.
大丈夫ですか？看護師さんを呼びましょうか？
大丈夫ですから。話の続きを。
まあ、注射器の話はそれだけです。それだけが個人的に気になったもので。
Rika-chan.
リカさん、村のマスコットみたいなところがありましたからね。
Really weird.
今、村は騒然としてるみたいですよ。盲信してた年寄り方と殺してしまった園崎家とで、実効支配していた御三家もほぼ全滅状態。こんなタイミングでまたダムの話が出てきたりしたら、今度こそ間違いなく敗損でしょうな。
もう俺、ひなみ沢とは関係ありませんから。
I actually was. Said it because the thought about Hinamizawa being abandoned was unpleasant, and I wanted to end the conversation quickly. There was a knock at the door. It opened slightly, and my mom asked if we were still talking.
ありゃ、無駄話が過ぎましたか。参ったな。
What? A pickle? I looked at the clock. 5 minutes were long past. He told my mother that there was something he really wanted to ask, and if she could wait a bit longer.
そう手短にね。
There wasn't any getting around the fact that she was thinking about what a police officer could be talking to her son about.
日を改めた方が良さそうですね。
大石さん、ミオンは今、どうしてるんです？
I wanted to just hear that answer and then get rid of him.
それを話す前に、本当に正直に答えてもらいたいことがあります。
何ですか？
本当に真面目に答えてくださいよ。これ、いい加減なこと言っちゃうと、場合によっては捜査攪乱と見られて告発される場合もありますからね。
Serious, Oishi is serious. Oishi-san kept threatening me until the end. What the hell did he want?
前原さん、シオンさんを突き落とした犯人は誰だと思います？
ミオンしか考えられないじゃないですか。
では、あなたを刺したの誰です？
何度も言わせないでください。ミオンですよ。園崎ミオン。
There was no way it was both of them. I think Shion went literally insane from some kind of illness that the village actually carried within it. That something that only the villagers would catch and they would be affected by when they leave the village. Oishi-san smiled bitterly. Because both of them, the stabbing happened and Shion fell at the same time. I believe that's what happened. Possibly? Oishi-san smiled bitterly, then dabbed at his forehead with a handkerchief to wipe his sweat. You should have expected that answer. and yet it looked as though he wasn't satisfied with it.
シオンを突き落として俺を刺してミオンの犯行だってさっき大石さんも認めたじゃないですか。
シオン殺しの犯人がミオンだという根拠は隣人の男の証言によるものなんです。この隣人ってのは実は暴力団組員、つまりシオンさんのボディーガードだったんですよ。このうちのリーダー格が古参で、園崎姉妹が幼いうちから親身になってた男なんだそうで。
That man said this. The noise he heard from the next door was just like the sound of a fight between the sisters that he was used to hearing when they still lived together. And no, there was no doubt about it. When he said he heard Mion and Shion insulting each other and heard them struggling. At first though, he thought it was a hallucination she was having, brought on by her dementia. You see, he thought that because of that sort of ruckus had been occurring every night. However, that night had been longer than the rest, and he claimed that he went to her room to give her a sedative. The noise died down while he got the manager to give him the key. He'd already decided he'd at least check up on her. After she wasn't answering his calls, they took the plunge and unlocked the door. Then they saw that the room was a mess. Since Shion had been pushed over the balcony, they had decided it had to have been Mion. That's how it happened.
つまり壁越しに聞いたというだけなんです。しかもこのマンション、組の関係で住人がほとんどいないんです。ですからこの騒ぎを聞いてたのも彼らだけ。重ねて言えば園崎ミオンを目撃した者は誰一人いないんです。
見なくったってそんなのミオンの犯行だってわかるじゃないですか。
Since I kind of spoiled it already, I kind of already understand what's going on. Probably Shion jumped on her own like she actually had a hallucination. But we'll see once we play the latter games.
まあまあ。だからつまりですね、あなただけがあの晩確かに園崎ミオンを目撃した唯一の人間ってことになるんです。もう一人の目撃者のシオンさんは生きておられませんからね。
大石さんが何を言いたいのかよくわからないんですけど。
At that point, Oishi-san paused. The fact that this was no smoking area completely slipped his mind and he took out his pack of cigarettes again. Ka-chuck, he lit one with his lighter and exhaled a long stream of tobacco smoke.
あなた、本当に園崎ミオンに刺されたんですか？
はい。間違いなく。
Maybe Shion stabbed Keiichi and went insane and then jumped off of her balcony, while because they found Mion already dead like a couple of days ago. The smoke Oishi-san breathed out floated away like a thundercloud being swept away by the wind.
大石さん、ここ禁煙です。看護師さんに怒られますよ。
実は園崎ミオンも井戸の底から見つかったんですよ。
Oh my goodness! I actually called it!
転落死です。あの井戸の隠し通路から逃げ出そうとしてはしごを降りる途中に足を踏み外し、そこまで転落し、首の骨を折って死亡したとみられます。はい。
But was it actually then Shion who stabbed Keiichi?
シオンさんと同じにね、首の骨を折って。 あの日、前原さんを気絶させた後、園崎美音は隠し井戸から外へ逃れようとして、足を踏み外して死んだのです。まるで、そこに突き落とした他の犠牲者の死体に呼び寄せられるようにね。
それじゃあおかしいじゃないですか。
検視の結果、間違いなくあの日に死亡したものと確認されました。あなたとシオンさんを襲ってからあそこに戻ったんじゃない。あの日にすでに死んでいたんです。
My jaw was on the floor. There was absolutely no way that could be. Mian was the one that stabbed me. It had to have been her. There wouldn't have been anyone else to do it.
じゃあ誰が俺とシオンを襲ったんですか？
Shion I can explain, but Keiichi I cannot. Maybe Keiichi stabbed himself?
誰が？
あなたを襲った園崎美音なのに園崎美音じゃない何者かですよ。
My mind had become a complete mess, and I was starting to lose my ability to think straight.
高野美音さんの死覚えてますか？
It couldn't be. Did Keiichi actually stab himself?
高野さん？あ、はい。確か遠くの山の中で焼け死んだって聞いたような。
あれは考察された後に焼かれたことが分かってます。検視したのは県警さんなんですけどね、これがちょっとおかしいんですよ。初期の検視結果では死後24時間経過って出ちゃったんです。辻褄が合わないってことで大慌てで当日死亡って改ざんしたらしいんですが、
Despite me being an absolute wreck over what was going on with Mion, he was telling me there was even more on top of that. I didn't understand the complex things Oishi-san was telling
こ
me.
の死後24時間って検視結果、うちの鑑識のじじいが言うにはですね、かなり信頼できるものらしいんです。つまりどういうことか。これは何度も聞いた質問になりますが、あなた綿流しの晩、高野美代さんに会ってますよね。
合ってます。
その前日、お祭りの準備の日にも会ってますよね。私もその時お会いしてますし。
ええ、合ってますよ。
死後24時間ってことは、お祭りの前日の晩にはもう死んでるってことになるんですよ。
What the hell?
そんなはず。
お祭りの準備の時には生きていた。でもあなたたちと一緒に西宮殿に忍び込んだ時、高野さんはもうお亡くなりになっていたのです。
What the hell? The origin of all that happened, the beginning of everything, our intrusion into the ritual storehouse, which I had come to regret countless times. The one who tempted me, Takano-san. When she invited us into the storehouse, he was already no longer of this world.
今回の事件、死人が歩き回りすぎなんですよ。
I am really confused. An incident caused by a dead person and ended by a dead person.
園崎美音の死亡時間を事件当日ではなく、あなたを刺した直後に改ざんせよとの圧力も来てるみたいです。この事件をとっとと終わらせようとする外圧でしょうね。
I feel dizzy.
ですので、今の話はどうか他言無用に願いますよ。
Oishi-san grabbed his jacket that was hanging on the chair, put out his cigarette from the bottom of with the bottom of his foot and started pretending to wave away the smoke floating around.
長居しました。あなたにとっての事件をせめて終わらせてあげようと思って来たつもりだったんですがね。かえって煙に巻いちゃったようで。
What? What? Absent-mindedly he walked towards the door, looking at me, unable to speak out of the corner of his eye.
もしも今後お話したいことができたらいつでもお電話ください。さっきのお土産の中に私の名刺が入ってますんで、その時はまた素敵なお土産を持ってお見舞いに来ますよ。
Oishi-san seemed to think I was still hiding something. That I, after all this, would be hiding something. I'm the one things are being hidden from. I'm the one who wants to know.
では、またいつかお会いしましょう。お大事に。
Slam. I listened to the tap 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 of Oishi-san walking down the hallway. I still couldn't return from my state of bewilderment. He wanted to end this incident as it applied to me. What was over? Nothing was over. The incident was still continuing. Then slip, an arm covered in fresh blood, came out from underneath the bed. I wasn't that surprised. This was an illusion I was seeing, seized with fear.
ケイちゃん、だから言ったでしょ。
I heard a guttural voice coming from under the bed. I still recognized it as Mion's voice.
なんだ、ミオン。何を言ったって？
私、あの日に警告したよ。今日以降、私の姿を見たとしても、それは私の屍に取り付いた鬼なんだよって。
そうだな。言ってたよな。
Yeah, I did not check for monsters under the bed. I am dumbstricken with this ending.
ごめん。ちょっと注意が足らなかったな。
I'm just dumbstruck.
だから刺されちゃったんだな。
Possibly wounds sustained when she fell from the ladder. Many of her fingernails were broken and torn. Her arms slowly felt about on the top of the bed, searching for mine.
あのさ、ミオ、俺今こんな冗談を考えたんだ。聞いてくれるか？
The man under the bed didn't answer.
例えばさ、俺が今日ここで死んじゃうんだよ。だけども明日以降もここにいて普通に生活してみせるんだよ。で、後でそれが大石のやつに分かってまたしても死亡日時が合わない。死んだはずの人間が生活していたって言って泡を食って大騒ぎするんだよ。高野さんにミオ、そして俺で3人目。な、面白いだろ？笑えるだろ？
ケイちゃん、
笑えよ。それともあんまり面白くなかったか？
What the Mion's blood-stained hand groped around and found my wrist. Though her fingernails were torn, she gripped it hard, as if scratching me.
加減しろよ。痛いって。
ケイちゃん、迎えに来たよ。
I tried to shake my wrist loose, but the strength she held it with was unbelievable and I couldn't. She was only gripping one wrist and yet my whole body couldn't move. I couldn't even twitch. My fingers were spread apart and I couldn't make a fist either. That fact I couldn't make a fist reminded me of the restraining table. I felt a crooked nail pressed against my left pinky finger. I am actually feeling rather ill. Changing into works on his comedy material. Yeah. Jesus. Neon's forehead was split open, and with a face covered with blood. He smiled and got right up just behind me.
何も終わってない。何も終わってない。この事件は何も終わってなんかない。まだ続いてる。まだまだ続いてる。誰かこの事件を終わらせてください。この残酷で無残で気の毒で悲しいこの事件を終わらせてください。それだけが俺の望みです。
あの時一つ叶えてあげたでしょ。今度はダメ。
And so the insanity continues forever. Mian firmly held the nail down on my fingertip, and with her other hand, she slowly swung a mallet up into the air and... What a freaking game. The last nail achievement. Holy hell. What a game. What a game. What an ending. Oh my goodness gracious. Happy ending. Yeah, about that. That was freaking brutal as hell. That's insane. But I loved it. That was fantastic. Especially since I didn't remember any of the endings. So that was actually absolutely fantastic. That just... Of course that wasn't happy or anything, but man, that was exciting and dreadful and just explicit. It's really freaking good. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It's really freaking good. Holy hell. Oh my god, that was good. That was absolutely fantastic. I'm done with that. That's yeah. Next stream we will probably be such great fun. Yeah, we will be probably starting the what's next? The order you should play Higurashi. I can't remember which of the Higurashi is next. Tataragoshi hen. Tatarigoroshi. Okay. Okay, so Tatarigoroshi is going to be next. So we will be playing that. Jesus Christ, that was awesome. I have a sudden feeling that I just want to read more. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. Get some food in me. I'm really hungry right now. Suddenly I'm hungry. But I'm really hungry, and while my food is getting ready, I'm gonna search these... Cannot see it, but yes, there. I'm gonna search those drawers for I'm gonna search those for my Necronomicon, and if I find it, I'm going to read you some Cthulhu stuff. Yeah, the curse killing arc. Oh. But yeah, we'll go on a little pause.